Salve Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo, estes nostra salve.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Glory to you, Lord. Jesus made the disciples get into a boat and precede him to the other side of the sea, while he dismissed the crowds. After doing so, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. When it was evening, he was there alone. Meanwhile, the boat, already a few miles offshore, was being tossed about by the waves, for the wind was against it. During the fourth watch of the night, he came toward them, walking on the sea. When the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified. "It is a ghost," they said, and they cried out in fear. At once Jesus spoke to them. "Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid." Peter said to him in reply, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." He said, "Come." Peter got out of the boat and began to walk on the water toward Jesus. But when he saw how strong the wind was, he became frightened, and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him, and said to him, "O ye of little faith, why do you doubt?" After they got into the boat, the wind died down. Those who were in the boat did him homage, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." After making the crossing, they came to land at Gennesaret. When the men of that place recognized him, they sent word to all the surrounding country. People brought to him all those who were sick and begged him that they might touch only the tassel of his cloak. And as many as touched it were healed. The Gospel of the Lord. Jealousy and envy are bad things, and if I may say, terrible things. Of course, they are vices. They are not virtues, they are vices. And they could be malicious, you know what I mean? We all know what jealousy is, and we know what envy is. Jealousy is when you are not happy. Let's put it that very mildly. We are not happy with someone because of what he or she has, or because of what he or she does. It could be blessings from God. It could be gifts the person has from God. Of course, we all are gifted individually. It could be because of someone's achievement. But no matter what it is, or where it go, or which way the jealousy or the envy is directed, it always ends in bad things, except the person comes back from, realizes his or her, pathway, and then come back. It could be family-based. It could happen among siblings, of course. It could happen among colleagues at work. It could happen in the church. You know what I mean? People could be envious of someone, even in the church, for what he or she does. Yes, it's possible. Today, we saw two brothers and one sister giving it out to themselves, Miriam, Aaron, and Moses. And Miriam and Aaron turned against Moses and started speaking evil about him, all because of jealousy. Remember, in the commandment of God, the 9th and the 10th, it says, "Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's property and thy neighbor's wife." Think about that. It's because for a reason. So we are today cautioned against that. But the dangerous thing about jealousy and envy is both could be self-destructive. I mean, anyone who engages in that could be destroying himself or herself without knowing it. Because jealousy begets more sins than we even think. That's the problem. So may we continue to appreciate. That's the only way to overcome jealousy. To appreciate the other person, to appreciate the gift of the other person, and to understand that we all could make mistake, Anyone could err. Anyone could even abuse the gift he or she has from God. But that does not justify anyone being envious or jealousy about someone. So we are cautioned about that. The consequence of that for Miriam today was very disastrous because God punished her for that, for speaking ill about Moses because of the gift he has and because of what he did. So may we continue on the path of having healthy relationship among ourselves, healthy appreciation of one another, healthy. If someone errs, of course, there's nothing that prevents you from reaching out and pointing that out to the person. What jealousy does is that it makes you to speak ill of that person behind the person's back. You don't go to the person to tell him or her what he or she did that was wrong. Rather, you begin to be critical of the person for the gifts he or she has, or for what he or she is doing. That's not what correction means. So may we keep up our good life, try to develop the positive attitudes towards one another, and appreciate one another, and appreciate our family members, and of course our colleagues wherever we encounter them. May God, through other people, be a blessing to us. May they never be a burden to us. May we appreciate the gifts God has lavished on people, and may such gifts turn out to be beneficial to us. May God bless you all.
Regina Celi, letare